Welcome to a new and quite different video out of my new Luthier Workshop. In this video I want to talk about this bass. Most people would say, okay, that's an old Fender Precision bass, but it isn't. I'm into luthiery for about 30 years now, and I saw a lot of fakes, especially on Fender and Gibson instruments, and I thought maybe it's a good idea to show you on this example. This is actually an old Ibanez bass, how to spot and discover a fake instrument and what effort does it need to bring it back in the original condition. Sorry for the background noise, this is not my drone, I don't even have one. This is a real helicopter who was circling around while I was filming this video for about 1 hour in the area of my workshop. For what reason, I don't know. But let's get back to this instrument. I got this precision bass from Rod, who was an amazing guy and sadly passed away last year. Because I did a lot of repairs on his vintage Gretsch instruments, he gave me this bass. And I always want to have like a fretless precision bass, and this was fine for me. And I have to admit that I spotted at a first look that this isn't a Fender bass, which is for me personally not so important because I'm a huge fan of vintage Ibanez basses, and this one is made something in between 71 and 74. And now I will show you why I see at a first look that this bass can't be an original Fender Precision bass. The first thing that I like to do is looking at the color of this instrument. A sunburst isn't a sunburst, it's always different. And in this case you can see that the red is very bright and very intense, which is not Fender-like. And if you have a deeper look at the decal of this instrument, you don't have to be an expert to consider that this is not original. And if you take a deeper look at the pickguard material, the pattern is totally different. You wouldn't find any pattern looking like this on a Fender bass. And have a look at the nut hole at the heel of this neck. I assume that this will never pass a Fender quality control back in the days. And the pickups and the hardware seem to be original, but I have to remove the cover to be 100% sure that everything is original. I will say original Ibanez, not original Fender. And if you look at the pots and the other hardware stuff, you can see always a difference in the diameters. You don't have to measure it, you can see it. And now we come to the detail that really discover that this is not a Fender neck. You see this piece of maple at the headstock is glued on separately. Fender never did that. Never ever back in the days, and I don't think they make it even today, even on the cheaper models. And another thing is, if you look at the wood grain, so if you're not totally into wood, but I am totally into wood, I can realize and discover that this is actually ash, but this is Japanese ash. And if you have a deeper look at the headstock, you can see another piece of maple glued on at the headstock. So we can be sure this one is made in Japan, a beautiful instrument. And this was a lot of talking, and now let's get started bringing this beautiful instrument in the original condition. And if you have any question or you want to share some thoughts about fake vintage instruments, feel free to let me know. Write it down in the comments. I will answer any question. As always, enjoy the video. So, and after removing the bridge cover, it turns out that the hardware is 100% original, which is very nice. And after removing the neck, I discovered this paperboard pieces, which was very common to use them for jimping the neck. Fender did it the same style, but not in small pieces. This was one big piece. You can find this even on old 62, 63 Fender Stratocasters. And this was necessary because the neck angle was not always 100%, and so they solved the issue while using neck shims. I will replace that with a wooden walnut shim. And at this point, I want to share some thoughts. The quality of the hardware and also the quality of the build of these old Japanese instruments are incredible. Maybe this is the reason why I'm a big fan of them, and also used to play them a lot of live on stages for years. And if you are still watching this video and this is interesting for you, feel free to subscribe to my channel. This will really help me out making these videos. And if you want to support my luthier craftsmanship, I have a guitar setup course for sale now. I'm very proud of it. You can find a link in the description of this video. Thanks a lot for your support. while inspecting the components of the electronic, and I consider they are 100% original and still work very fine, I discovered that the grounding cable that is underneath the bridge of the instrument, and that is very necessary that we don't have any hum on instruments, was never connected to the ground of the electronic, which is quite weird, but I will change that and I will solder on the ground wire to the rest of the electronic. And this is what you're going to see next. Here you can see me using one of my favorite tools, a totally simple, some people call it cabinet scraper, I call it just simple scraper. If this piece of metal is perfectly set up, it cuts like a knife and you can work so accurately and removing decals and lacquers. My idea is not touching the ground lacquer, just removing the decal and the sprayed on, I don't know what kind of lacquer it is. and then putting on the new decal and make a nice coat of nitrocellulose lacquer over this headstock. And this is what you're gonna see next. And at this point, I have to say a huge thank you to Dr. Dan from Ibanez, Germany, because he sent me a address where I can order the original designs of the vintage Ibanez decals. This was very helpful. And I ordered two because it's always a thing if you're working the first time with new materials, make sure that you have a replacement part. Maybe something can go wrong. So I found this picture, and this will guide me to get the new sticker at the correct position. So at the next morning, I stepped into my workshop and was totally excited having a look at the new decal on a headstock. And I thought, I don't know, maybe I have to place the string tree to check the position of the decal. And that's what I did here. And this was not really satisfying because sometimes you have to be honest to yourself. And as a craftsman, you have to be at like every second. And the decal is way too high. It's nearly touching the string tree. This is not the way it should be. So the only thing that you can do now, you can get frustrated, taking a beer, quitting your job, whatever. But for me, my decision is always, like, you have to do it again. And this is what you're gonna see now. And now I'm sure I have the correct position. Sometimes luthier life is like that, but it's not always, and that's good. After covering up all the areas I don't want to lacquer, I decided to use nitrocellulose lacquer because it's easy to handle and it sticks very good on poly or plastic lacquer. And after applying several coats over a couple of days and let it dry for 100%, I think I let it dry for about 2 weeks, you can begin the fine sanding. I will sand it from 1500 to 4000 and then I can polish it up with my hand. Don't use any power tools and it will get a very nice high gloss finish, and this is what you're going to see next. at this point I want to show you my screw hack. This is very simple but very effective. If you reinstall a wooden screw, always turn it first left till it clicks, like that. And now you can turn it right and screw it in, and you won't damage your screw holes. This is very important. And here is another one. This can really boost your sound. You have surely noticed that I didn't tighten the screws 100%, and what I like to do is now pressing the neck into the body with the biggest force that I can apply, and then fixing the screws totally. This will make a better connection from the neck to the body, and this can really kick your sound. It boosted, it's unbelievable. Check it out on your instrument. Please let me know down in the comments if you hear any difference. So this was once again a very time-consuming repair restoration story on my YouTube channel. I hope you like it. If you like it, feel free to check out my other videos on my YouTube channel. Jump over to my Instagram account. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I'm so proud about my new guitar setup tutorial course that is available now. You can find the link in the description of this video. And at the end, as always, enjoy your life, make music, and hope to see you the next time. Thanks for watching.